Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm going to be talking about black culture. Just things about black culture. Something that's really weird, the whole snitching culture and hood rat culture and the relationship they have with the Democratic Party in the United States of America. I've done a couple of videos kind of asking what is black culture, just trying to study and understand stuff about that. Because I've lived in the United States of America, I don't really think I'm considered black because I have this, I think the black people in the United States of America are actually an entire culture of its own that would be actually treated as a separate tribe of people. I think you can even get to the point where there's actually genetically probably differences with the admixtures of people coming from other races and things like that. And that's a beautiful thing, in my opinion. It's something to look at and kind of absorb and be like, look, these people have done X, Y, Z in their environment, in their culture. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about some things. Adult mentality required. It is going to have the N-word in there that kind of rhymes with trigger, that also triggers some people, so that's a trigger warning for that kind of thing. If that's not something that's on your palate, you should probably not watch this video. Could be reading some things, reading some articles. If not, enjoy. Here we go. So here we go. I'd like to read this article, and it's one thing I'm wondering, is this black culture? Because people will say, there's a big group of people who will say things that Donald Trump is saying and doing is a dog whistle to a lot of people, to racist people out there, to people who hate immigrants, who do all these things. He's encouraging violence. They talk about this saying, oh, these people on the political right are doing this, and it's making the people on the political right, it's making these agitators, they're agitators. They're causing these people to go out there and commit violence and do horrible things. So people admit that, oh, somebody says something, and then something happens. These are the same people that talk about, it doesn't matter if that didn't happen. It raises a conversation. So raising the conversation itself is supposedly enough to go out there and initiate something. I need to close these windows. Okay, we might have some better sound now. But right here. So this is the article that I'm reading. This is on hnhh.com. There's going to be links below to the article that you can check out. And it's hotnewhiphop.com. And this is Boosie Badass. Boosie Badass to 6ix9ine. Yeah, well anyway, 6ix9ine's that one rapper with like the weird rainbow colored hair and 6ix9ine tattooed on his face and all these kind of things. And he had like yelling rap where he just yells. Well anyway, so Boosie Badass said to 6ix9ine, "You'll be murdered less than a month after your release." Now I don't know if I've read this before, but I'll just give you a little overview of what the case was with him. From what I heard, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, you can go online and find out this information. 6ix9ine was caught up in a, first of all, 6ix9ine, I think earlier on, he had some issue with him having some kind of sexual relations with somebody that was underage. I don't know what necessarily came out of that, but he's, I think, rather young too. He's early 20s, if not in his, I think he's early 20s. I don't think he's in his teens. But when that thing happened, he could have been in his teens at that time. But he's a rapper from New York. I think he's Mexican and something else. Mexican, like the nationality. So Latin would be the race, Latin American and things like that. His parents were from Mexico. I think it might be Mexico, like Puerto Rico or something. I don't think he has any recent Negro or recent African descent ancestry into his parents, maybe his great-grandparents or grandparents. I don't know. But anyway, he's been embraced by the hip-hop community. He was in certain circles. He was in New York. He was involved with some hardcore gangster people. And it turns out that the FBI was actually doing, I remember he went to an interview. It was I think about a year, a few months before this actual arrest came out. He was talking about in an interview, the only things I fear is God and the FBI. And then the FBI turns out they were actually doing a sting operation on his group, and a lot of people got caught. I think there was at least 6 arrests, including some other people. He was looking at a lot of jail time, and this case has been going on. And again, that's what I'm trying to say, is this black culture? Because I'll go online and there's certain videos, certain content where I'm like, wow, this is learning a lot of information about politics, about science, about all these other things. And this is across the board, but also when it comes to the black culture in the United States of America, you'll find videos about 6ix9ine where it's literally someone just reading an article about what 6ix9ine, the guy really doesn't even add anything. He just literally reads the article about what's happening in 6ix9ine's case, and there's like 1 million views. And I'm wondering, okay, so there's a lot of people in this black community that are very interested in finding out what's happening with 6ix9ine. But how many of them have gone to like a Thomas Sowell video and trying to understand more about economics? So I'm wondering, what are black issues? So on top of that whole thing of, hey, people say something and then that's enough to actually instigate something. Trump saying something is enough to instigate something. And also, what are the black issues that people are really supposed to look at and say, this is what the community is doing? So anyway, so 6ix9ine, his people got caught. He went in. He was facing a lot of jail time. He started telling on the cops. He started cooperating with the cops. Apparently, he might get no jail time now because he's turned complete state's evidence. And even before, once he went in, people were already joking around and saying, oh, 6ix9ine's not going to make it. He's not made of that right stuff. He's not actually going to do it. And part of the reason, I think he had started distancing himself from his actual gang and things like that while he was still out, because I think he was just tired of that game. He's a rapper. He was getting a lot of money from that. He might have been bankrolling some of the activities that we're doing. Of course, you get the cred from it. And why would you need cred? Why would an entire community of people, a big aspect of African Americans and urban people, black people, why would they give you cred for hanging out with actual gangsters? Why is that considered a positive thing to these people if it's not part of their culture? So anyway, people were already making fun of him, saying he's not going to do it, he's not going to make it. And then, yeah, he flipped. He told the cops. And so snitching is snitches get stitches, as some of them say. I think even heard Don Lemon say this. It was somebody on MSNBC or CNN or something. They were just talking about, and what is even that? It might have been just some news channel. Could have even been Fox. Somewhere. But anyway, Boosie. If it's supposed to be Boosie, I'm saying Boosie because I see Badass there, and I think if he wanted to be a Z, he'd kind of go with a Z there too. So I'm guessing it's Boosie Badass. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but you can correct me. I'm probably not going to look it up. But anyway, so let's just read this, and then I'll kind of just talk to you about it. So the drama involving Tekashi 6ix9ine's legal situation continues to get even crazier. While he may not be making headlines on a daily basis anymore, when he does, the news is usually pretty scandalous. The former king of New York is spending time behind bars as he awaits his trial in 2020, and he's apparently been squealing like a rat to anybody that cares to listen. When it comes to the shooting he allegedly ordered on Chief Keef, Tekashi says that he paid his associate Kuda B $20,000. That's a lot of money to go through with it. I guess for shooting someone, I don't know. Well, what's the cost of a life? Here in Kenya, somebody told me you can get somebody killed here for like $50. It's pretty ridiculous, but it doesn't happen that often. There's not too many hitmen and things like that. Just thinking what it takes for somebody to actually go and shoot somebody. I think once you're at that point, does anyone know what's the going rate of a hitman? And I'm guessing it might be lower or higher depending if you go to like urban, because this is the New York Times, so maybe there's like a New York markup for this, or maybe these guys are just gangsters. And it's like, dude, I kill people anyway. I don't know. I'll do it for free, chicken. Like Chappelle Show thing. Chappelle Show skit. It's like, if you don't like chicken and watermelon, something's wrong with you. He's like, I wish chicken would approach me to do a commercial for them. I do it for free, chicken. So maybe people are just really like killing people, and like, I wish somebody would approach me to kill someone. I do it for free, Tekashi. Anyway, so here we go. We're joking about this, but it's some serious stuff. So thankfully, nobody was harmed, even 6ix9ine's girlfriend Jade is joking about him snitching, trolling him yesterday with a Valentine's Day post that he would truly appreciate. Now, Boosie Badass is chiming in, and his comments are pretty potent. So I checked that. It's not open here right now. Electricity's down because this is Kenya and it happens. Electricity's out right now, so I can't really load it up, but there's going to be links below to this. It was a Valentine's Day post. It was like a heart and like a rat. So it's kind of just joking around with that. And I don't know how serious these people take these things. But anyway, I guess in that kind of inside thing, she wasn't actually making fun of him. It says 6ix9ine's girlfriend, Jade, still his girlfriend. So I guess she was kind of just, ha ha ha. I don't know if they just taken it not really serious. They don't really think this is actually going to happen. Maybe they just, but I don't know. Is it going to happen? Well, anyway, so this is the thing. Going to be facing 10 years to life for Chief Keef shooting in New York. So, okay, this is a Kuda B thing. This is what Boosie Badass posted. He posted this on Instagram, official Boosie IG. So this is the thing that he wrote. It's the same thing that's written down here. I'll just read it from up here. Here we go. Is it exactly? Yeah, it's exactly. No, there's some part missing down here. No, let's just read it from down here. Okay, so when you first went to jail, I was like, free dude, because I don't like to see no one in that cage like that. But one thing I don't condone or support is rats. You gotta say you a bitch. You gotta say you a bitch ass nigga who is just playing hoe games with everybody. You have to admit on wax that you's a hoe ass nigga from now on, period. And I don't understand your situation, nigga. I was facing a needle, lethal injection, and I ain't bend, break, or fold. Real niggas. Real niggas like myself, we hate rats. I don't know about New York, but in Louisiana, you will be murdered less than a month after your release. For real. I guess that's what the FR is, I'm thinking. Your kids will be bullied in school for the decision you made. You put all your family in grave danger for life because of this bullshit. Did you think about their safety? Keep it 100. You don't care nothing about you. Shaking my head. Okay, so that's it right there. In general, as the review says here, Boosie brings up some valid points. In an attempt to shorten his own sentence, 6ix9ine did seriously endanger the lives of his loved ones. However, you've got to consider both sides of the story here. Tekashi is facing life in prison. You've got to think he would do anything he can to get out as soon as possible. So you see, in the actual article, the guy's softening up to this idea, but right here, he's saying in Louisiana. So I guess that's the point. It's not a direct threat saying you're going to be killed. He says, I don't know about New York, but I guess Boosie's from Louisiana, and in his hood, in his area, they would kill you for this. So they would kill you for talking to the police. Now, there's something about that. This slipped my mind in the original recording of this, but it's not they'll only kill you, but it's also your family is in danger. They're not talking about your family like your brothers in the gang, like they're in danger. It's like, no, these people go after your wife, kids, parents, brothers, sisters, extended relatives, and things like that if you actually snitch on people. Just think about living in that kind of community where people will actually kill your family members. Now, I know these people are technically adults. In some cases, I know sometimes these people join when they're very young, but if you're of age, you're an adult, you're a consenting adult to joining this gang, you kind of know this stuff beforehand. It's still just some horrendous stuff to really think about. Two things about that. One, if you're like in the libertarian kind of thing, taxation is extortion, that kind of thing, where the cops are bad. And I've seen some people get to the point where they're talking about how like all police, there's no such thing as a good policeman because they're enforcing the extortion and the state and the power of the state, and the state is inherently an agent of force, etc., etc. So you shouldn't really associate with police. And when it gets to that point, you kind of start wondering, so would a libertarian, in that kind of sense, agree with this hood mentality to say you can't talk to cops? Are they in that kind of situation where are the people in the hood actually really libertarian in that kind of sense, where they're like, the cops, we're not going to agree with anything with the cops? Now, you can just go to the opposite side and say there's a lot of welfare and other things that the people in the hood in the same areas are using things that are state provided and things like that, so they're not entirely across the board. But I'd say they're taking a very libertarian stance kind of on that whole situation where like the cops are our enemies, we're not going to deal with them. But now also when it comes to the whole situation, the cops are your enemies, you're not going to deal with them. How are you going to get an enforced environment? A lot of people talk about this over-policing in the hood, or something bad in the hood happens and cops don't want to go and find it. Recently with the Jussie Smollett thing, they're like, these people are not actually investigating what's happening when somebody gets shot. Normally they're talking about when a policeman shoots somebody in the Black community, in the urban areas. But how are you going to actually check and get that rapport and get that relationship with the police if there are some positive things with the police, if you have this kind of no snitching kind of attitude? So is that part of the environment? Now, you're not going to be able to see the comments, are we? You're not going to be able to see the comments. There were some interesting comments in here that you guys can check out once the link is up. I might, depending on when I upload this video, I might actually come back in and cut in the part where I read the comments. But for now, there's something else that I wanted to jump to as well, because this is kind of a thing on the side as well. We're talking about this whole idea, like what are the interests of the Black community in the United States of America? What are they interested in? What are the concerns politically and things like that? Because they've been voting Democrat on a heavy basis. And now you had somebody like Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez come in, and she was talking at this Girls Can Code thing in New York, and she was like, I'm just trying. People said like you can't pay for this. I don't care. Because I'm the boss. And I was just I was wondering, I was thinking she's on the level of that Cash Me Outside chick, where it was on, what's it called? She was on Dr. Phil, and she was just like, the audience is a bunch of hoes. It's like the audience is a bunch of hoes. It's like, yeah. It's like, Cash Me Outside, how about that? Because she even says that. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez was like, well, I'm trying. Well, you try. Because I'm the boss. How about that? And I'm just like, she's on Bad Baby, because Bad Baby is her name now. Bad Baby was the name of I forget, Danielle Bregoli. Or anyway, she took that and then she became a millionaire now. She took that appearance as a 13-year-old, then started doing a reality TV show, had a remix of that song. There'll be links below to that song. Really excellent lyric, like, Catch Me Outside, how about that? How about that? I've listened to that song, and it's like a short song. I've listened to it probably at least 100 times. So there's something catchy about it, just her whole character. But I wouldn't go out and actually buy an album of hers. But she's actually become a celebrity in the urban community to a certain demographic. Now, again, when you talk about the urban community here, I don't think there's like 60-year-old grandmas who are actually like listening to Bad Baby. But there's enough of a group in that urban community that apparently also is the same demographics that votes for people like the Democrats, who have apparently the black concerns. So what kind of black concerns lead to these things? And I'm also saying this could just be like the urban version of Miley Cyrus. That could just be like she's on that level of just like makes catchy enough music that you can dance to. It's fluffy. It's not necessarily that deep. You're not going to really learn that much about it. It's about youth and this kind of it's something. It's there. It works. But anyway, she's on this, and apparently in this article, well, anyway, right here, Bad Baby rewinds to Kylie Jenner when she was just a 16-year-old. So she's trolling Kylie Jenner. This is what she looks like right now. I don't know how old she is now. I think when she was in that video, she was like 13, and now she was on this reality show with her mom. They were hitting each other. There's child abuse going on in there. People are just watching and cheering it on. Danielle Bregoli is her name. She has a successful beauty line now. And I was reading this stuff, and apparently she just big upped her beauty line, and she signed on this beauty line. Because, of course, she's not a scientist. She's not a cosmetologist. She's not going in there and actually finding the right chemical makeups and things. She's probably not even at the point where she's really giving any... talking about, oh, this looks good on people in these shades. It's pretty much a company gets her, and then she sponsors them. She's Instagram famous. She's an influencer in that sense. So she just signed on to kind of push these makeup lines. And apparently it got 500,000 in cap or something. It got an absurd amount of money just from her signing on, because there's that many people. Look at this. Bad Baby. 16 million followers. She has 16 million followers. Anyway, this picture of her trolling Kylie Jenner, who again is somebody else who has a makeup line that has millions of people. Apparently some competition to her as well. They're also young people with millions of people following them with all these makeup lines. Actual millionaires in the United States of America. So this is America as well. This is America. Buy your makeup from little girls. I don't know. Anyway, so he's trolling her with this picture because this person behind them is apparently this person called Jordan Sparks. He's friends with Kylie. And then Kylie's older sister, Chloe, which is sisters of Kim Kardashian, who you heard of before. And the Kim Kardashian became famous because her dad was actually a lawyer in the O.J. Simpson case, where this is a situation of really a black famous athlete, apparently, allegedly, was accused of killing his wife and Kato and someone else, and then Kato Kaelin was involved. Anyway, but he was in that case, and then the guy divorced their mother. But anyway, she became famous. Kim Kardashian was best friends with Paris Hilton, who's like a really wealthy person, heiress or daughter of the Hilton family, who owns all the Hilton hotels. And Paris Hilton had a sex tape. Then Kim Kardashian had her sex tape, and then she got really famous off of that. People kind of forgot about the sex tape mostly, and she flipped that around. Her mother Kris Jenner, flipped around, married Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner was an Olympian. Bruce Jenner was around all this strong estrogen, powerful women so much that he was like, why don't I be a woman too? And he switched. There was this really funny meme with Bruce Jenner who was like, her name is Caitlyn Jenner now. And I'll post it up. It's it's a tweet from him saying, it's really tough having a man like come and compliment me for my looks or something. And then below it was just like, nice balls, nigga. So anyway, that's what it said on it. So with that word, nigga, I'm going to be saying it sometimes if it's actually in there in context. I think everybody should say the word or nobody should say the word. If you're offended by it, let me know below. I probably won't give a damn. But let me know what you think about the usage of that term. I don't think I have any right more than any random white person to say it because my ancestors were never subject to that whole slavery in the United States of America. If Black people say the reason you can say it is because your ancestors were slaves, then I technically don't have any tie on to that. Some of my ancestors may have been enslaved through the Arab slave trade, but chances are if that happened, they were not really reproducing, or they might have reproduced. Maybe like my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was caught after he had already given birth to my great-great-great-grandfather, and then he was taken. But if they were actually taken, most of the people were castrated, so they didn't really give kids. Whereas, okay, anyway, so maybe I can also have the right to say that because I may be related distantly to people that were enslaved by somebody else who's not my race or whatever. Anyway, coming back to this thing, we were talking about that. We can't click that because we have no internet and no electricity. But joy of laptops. So back to this thing. So Jordan Woods apparently was cheated with the older sister's boyfriend, was Tristan Thompson, who's a basketball player. And it's just like the hood ratchet stuff. And look, this is the same person. This person, okay, this was years back, of course. I think so. It was 16 here. Said, I think it's rolling back when she was 16. But that's it's like, go bestie. Because, anyway, so I guess there's some kind of trolling in there. But then again here, now this is a Jordan Woods person, again, with the filters and the thing. And she also has a very famous makeup line as well. It says here she's talking about it getting bad, where she says Jordan Woods says Tristan Thompson. Now I'm saying, is this part of African American culture as well? And I'm not saying this is just Black culture. I'm not saying there's no equivalent of this. You probably go to Bollywood and you could probably find a large amount of people who are just following Indian stars. You could probably go to China and hear a whole lot of gossip about Chinese stars. China. You definitely have that here in Kenya. There's definitely sites where just people just talking about celebrity things like that. And this happens everywhere. This happens in, it's pop culture and things like that. But what I'm wondering is these people spending this amount of time, you see Jordan Woods, 8.8 million followers. 8.8 million followers for this person. What does she do? I don't know. But apparently she was at an event and she was talking about her cheating with her friend's sisters, who I guess they were friends as well too, his boyfriend and things like that. Well, anyway, so what I'm just saying is these people are making millionaires off of just existing in this area. Now, also, at the same point, we're talking about people like Trump, who they're saying what Trump says activates his base to act in a certain way. So by Trump advocating for racism, it makes people to be more racist and come out and do these things. So are those same people who are so concerned about Trump's effect and how what Trump says is going to affect the way African Americans, Black people, minorities are treated, are they also looking at people like Jordan Woods and saying, okay, maybe if Jordan Woods was selling books by Thomas Sowell or just something else. Yes, she's an entrepreneur, so yeah, maybe that's kind of an entrepreneur in a way. Anyway, but is this really inspiring anyone to do much besides wear makeup? And I mean, it's a pretty cool hairstyle. So is that what we're getting in now? Bad Baby over here with her millions, with her a lot of makeup as well here going on here. V Magazine, Citibank, Warner Music Group. So these people are completely okay with sponsoring whatever is going on here with Bad Baby, with her abuse with her mother and things like that, with with calling people hoes and things like that, and just being in general a general hood rat. It's just like a hood rat's a term. She's a hood rat, and she's got appeal. There's people who are listening to her. 16.8 million views. Followers and things like that. We come back here to Boosie Badass again. Tekashi 6ix9ine. Part of his fame was him having that hood backing, hanging out with people like Kuda B and these people, putting out hits on people. That was part of his lifestyle that people paid him millions to do, supported him in that way. Are the same people who are trolling, who are so concerned about Trump's effect on African Americans and things like that, the environment African Americans have to live in. Do they come at people like this? Do they look at this? Is Don Lemon talking about how, damn, that's pretty bad that Boosie Badass is talking about this, talking about people getting killed for talking to police, when you have a situation with like Jussie Smollett where it's like, okay, how can we actually deal with the police in this situation if you're going to be killed for talking to them? You're going to be killed for talking to the police. And yes, I guess you can kind of argue that Tekashi 6ix9ine was also involved in that. So it's different if like you've been shot by someone and then you tell the police that person shot me. In that kind of situation, you're not like snitching on your own boys or anything. But that's just something that I'm trying to wonder. Is this a concern? What is this about the culture? Why is this in there? Who condones this thing? What effect do you think this has on the people? There's been tests that have come out to say that, yes, video games don't necessarily make people more violent. Now, is it that people in general are in a violent kind of environment and they come and these people are talking about that environment and they can relate to it? Or what's the amount that these people actually encourage and increase the chances of these people being violent? You see, that's the thing that people are wondering. Now, some people are saying with Trump, he's increasing people being violent. Hate crimes are on the rise. I'm going to talk about it in a separate video. They're not. It's just reporting of the crimes and a lot of other things involved in that. But when it comes to that kind of situation, they're saying Trump is making people more racist. He's making people more anti-LGBT. He's making people more sexist by the things that he's saying. And I'm not thinking that's the case at all. He's dividing the country more. I'm thinking the country's already divided, and it might be situations where now people are focusing on it. It's being reported more, and people might be more vocal about it in that kind of sense, but they're not any more that way than they were before. That's my standpoint on these kind of things. I would rather know what somebody is than them kind of hide and then find out later. I would rather know somebody's really into this hood life off the break. I would rather know somebody come over here and Boosie Badass is sing, and then me see this and be scrolling through Instagram and see like, yeah, my boy like this, such and such like this. And be like, maybe next time that guy's like, let's go hang out in such and such place. I'm like, I'm not going to go hang out with that guy because that guy is into he's about this life. I'm not about this life. You can call me a, what does he say? You can call me a bitch ass nigga if you want. I am not about this life. I would want to live in a place where I can be legally armed, of course, if I live in the United States of America, but I'm not about this hood life. I don't want to get into that stuff. If you ever try to act hood on this channel, you call me out. I am not about this life. But I would rather just keep my life, not be all tatted up like these guys and all these things. But this is a part of it. So do you think these people are making people that way? Do you think Bad Baby is making people more violent? Do you think going on TV, showing her mom in that fight, do you think that's a situation making African-American black families, minority families more violent? Is that the situation? Or do you guys think it's a different thing? Okay, the power just came back. So we are going to finish this off with reading some comments. As I read the comments, I'm going to put some merchandise up on the screen, and you can go down, click below, and buy some merchandise, support this channel, and that's it. So the power went off again. It happens sometimes. This is even a lot more annoying than when it actually just goes for a long time. It'll go off, come back, go off, come back, flash on and off, and it's just really infuriating. So instead, I have Ode to Joy on my phone. I'm going to actually just listen to Ode to Joy, and instead of reading the comments, maybe I might wait, or I might just play Ode to Joy as merchandise goes on the screen, as I also relax myself. Goodbye. Okay, so here we go with the comments. First comment, this is just the oldest comments. You can put oldest or latest. The top comment here that just says, fuck cancer, fuck cancer. That's all it says. I don't know if that's some sort of Okay, this is a reply to somebody. Reply to Chris Brown's monkey. Chris Brown's monkey says, "Didn't cancer try to take Boosie out already? About time to try it again." And then the top response is, "Fuck cancer." That original comment had 6 likes and 22 dislikes. This comment of "fuck cancer" has 64 likes. So people like Boosie. Shout out to Boosie. Kill yourself, you anonymous fag bag. These are replies to that Chris Brown's monkey. Chris Brown's monkey. LOL. I'm glad I could make you mad enough to say that Chris Brown's monkey came back in. I guess he's just trolling these people. At Chris Brown's monkey. I'm glad I could be such a scumbag that I get a reaction from people, because in reality no one loves me or gives me attention, and this is the best it gets. Nice little comeback there. Yeah, no likes for that one, but maybe it's just too long. Right here, Alpa's ass water. What? Al Pacino from what's it called? Great movie. Tropic Thunder with Tom Cruise. Wait, didn't even know it was Tom Cruise until like the second time I watched that movie. Or the end of the movie when like Tom Cruise in the credits, it was like, what? That was Tom Cruise. Then it had, of course, Jack Black. It had, I forget who played Al Pacino, but Robert Downey Jr. in blackface. And with that whole blackface thing, Robert Downey Jr. needs to be removed from all the Marvel films because he's insulted black people by going in blackface in that movie. Who else was in that? Who was the main guy in that? I'm forgetting right now. Oh, Ben Stiller. Yeah. Okay. So Alpo's Asswater says, "How y'all gonna give out North Louisiana part? Stop making it seem like he was threatening him." And yeah, I think that's kind of true because this is also clickbait. This was rather clickbaity by new hip hop news with the title "Boozy Badass to 69. You'll be murdered less than a month after you release." I mean, technically he does say that, but he was saying in North Louisiana that's what would have happened. He's not a direct threat. And then someone's like, for real, he was talking about his hood, and HNHH makes it seem like he was threatening. So yeah, clickbait happens everywhere. Yeah, clickbait title. Boosie's Right by Macro Robinson 15. This is 8 likes, 8 dislikes. So let's see, this is in the middle. What are you guys thinking? Do you think there's going to be a lot of people agreeing, or do you think people are going to be against what was said in this? But this is just the comments. And now with comment sections, you wonder, you have some of these articles, some of them have like 10,000 actual reads, but only like 100 actual comments. So for you to actually care enough to go in and have your account in this site and then decide to type in there, this is not like a discuss thing. This is, I think you have to have an actual account for this site itself. But to be that activated and then go in and make a comment and things like that, how many people is this indicative of the entire readership? How many people does it have to be for it to be an actual sample where you're comfortable with saying, yes, this is what the people who read this kind of think? I don't know. I don't know the studies that are done on that. I know with some sites, I go in there and I read, and I'll read the comments, and I just never really feel like commenting. Some other ones, like, I just won't want to like connect like something like my Facebook account to some sites and have the comments there. I don't have to show them on Facebook. Or something discuss. If something has discuss, I'm normally going to comment. But there's some sites very active where I just want to talk. But that's on the side. Let's get back to the comments. I'm supposed to be reading comments for you here. So Macro Robinson, 15. Boosie's right. Streets don't condone snitching, no matter how famous you are. 6ix9ine is a dead man. This guy's agreeing. Okay. Right here, Stuntin' Jones. 6ix9ine is better locked up for real. Besides, if you really want to see Boosie get shot, that goof. If you really want to see Boosie get shot, that goof makes me sick in the ass, Dan. What? I really want to see Boosie get shot. So this guy's against Boosie for some reason. I don't know what Boosie B's character is, but it's had 1 like and 6 dislikes, so if people were not really agreeing with what he was saying here. Slime says, the way Boosie used that quote makes it seem like he wanted Chief Keef dead. LOL. I don't know where that comes from. I'm not going to go read back the quote for that. But if you want to, you can kind of let me know what you think of that. Right here. Little chirp, check syrup, little chick syrup. It's like CHXRRPP. Funny how he's a rat, but when he needed to break away from Treyway, they put a green light in his head. Shoddy and someone else wanted to whack him. Danny did it because he didn't want blood sacrifice anymore. His first rape charge was a humiliation trial ritual. He dissed what was he did what he. I think it's supposed to be he did what was best. So they want to kill. They want to kill the money machine. Now you fuck with my family and you put them in danger. I'd rat too. I bet if he had been supported by everyone, he wouldn't rat, and they did his family dirty too. All bets are off. Plus, I bet Shoddy and them all snitch. The first person to SY. The first person to SY. I don't know what SY is. I'd never snitch. Always rats first. Okay, the first person to say I'd never snitch always rats first. The quiet ones are the real ones. So right here it said 6 likes and 4 dislikes. So some people kind of understand here, and this is what I was talking about in the start with the actual background with what happened here, is he had tried to actually leave this group. He tried to distance himself from the people involved in this. I think he had talked about how he's like, yeah, I don't really trust the people I'm around anymore. And right now they're saying that rape charge may have been a humiliation trial. So they're saying he may have been set up in that whole rape charge to see how he's actually going to take. Well, you know, that kind of situation where now you have dirt on you. Now you're also one of these criminal people, and you're going to you're with us because maybe they'd committed some other crimes and things like that. I mean, I think Shoddy and these other people, Treyway, they are the people involved in the gang, and they're actually not really upstanding members of society. Well, I guess that depends on your society. There might be some societies where these people are considered upstanding members. I mean, if you're in that hood culture, that gang culture, then the people who are really gangster are the upstanding members of the gangster society. So, next one, Midwestern Georgian. And that's coming from one of the realists. So I guess it's just talking about Boosie. So he's agreeing 4 likes, 4 dislikes. Now 9 likes, 1 dislike. So a lot of people here are agreeing with this. So most popular is the person's name. For someone who had near-death experience with cancer, this guy has learned nothing about humility. So facts. And he was only 1 guilty verdict away from life in prison himself. So I guess he's talking about Boosie here. I guess Boosie might have had a brush with cancer, and they're saying maybe he should have learned something. Maybe he shouldn't be out here talking about all these people doing all these things and whatnot. 9 likes, so lots of people kind of co-signed on that one. Roy Hill says all facts though, so I guess he's agreeing with what Boosie was saying here. Now, Snorlax over here says Boosie is washed up has-been. That's 9 likes, 7 dislikes. Mr. Negus responded to this and will always be better than never was faggot commenting on HNHH troll and some laughing emoji faces with the tears. So this whole thing like, oh, somebody says something and you're like, oh no, you just comment on things. Like, you don't know what this Snorlax person is. He's a very successful Pokemon that stops like people from crossing. It's very hard to move a Snorlax. Like, I think even the most powerful Pokemon in the world can't really move a Snorlax. He's very famous. No, okay. But really though, this whole idea of somebody says something about somebody in an article or in somewhere, and then you're like, oh well, you're just commenting online. Okay, you don't know me. You know what this person is doing. I mean, that person, it's normally you're talking about a public figure who's actually put things about themselves out there, so you can actually make a judgment. This person has no idea what this Snorlax person is. This Snorlax person, for some reason, could just actually be a rather successful person in his town or city or whatever, and just have family, have kids, and he's looking online. But then, is that the readership of the site? And then, if you're a has-been, if you're supposedly a never one faggot commenting on HNHH troll, then who are you to respond? Anyway, I mean, he's done his job. At least he's a successful troll. If he's actually a troll, got someone to respond. So here we go. Oh, here we go. Fuck Crackers 1.0. Okay, so this is fuck Boosie nigga. Got only 1 hot mixtape, Life After Death Row. 6ix9ine got more billboard hits than Boosie. Nothing wrong with snitching. It's called self-preservation. Fuck other niggas. They won't do life for you. So So I suggested snitching time. Free the king of hip hop. I guess it's a fan of 6ix9ine. That's fuck Crackers. Things like that. RB responded. This was 2 likes and 8 dislikes. So RB responded here. Said, you're a bitch for real. And I'm a cracker. The cracker that's literally wiping your ass. So, whipping your ass? Whipping. Yeah, whipping. It's a WH. I was like, how are you going to insult someone that you're wiping their ass? What kind of... It's whipping your ass. So I guess here he's going into like the racist stuff because like I don't know, we see a lot of people in the political left who are like white people need to do this, white people or there's white privilege, we need to fight white privilege and things like that, that are very very big on the whole literally fuck crackers kind of mentality. So fuck crackers over here again. Could be a white person. So this whole situation, you go in a bridge, I'm a cracker, I'm whipping your ass. I guess he's going to slavery type thing. Here we go. Justin King. Oh, there's 3 likes and -4 dislikes for that RB comment. I think the -4 dislikes was not whipping your ass. So some people are like, wait, this guy going to slavery thing? Yeah, that's not right. Justin King over here, his image looks like a black person. He's like, you ho nigga, and a rat supporter. 2 likes, 2 dislikes. So it's like, okay. And then Fuck Crackers comes back in here. Let's see what Fuck Crackers has to say. It's probably going to be the last comment. I might read one more after this. But let's go with this response. Fuck Crackers 1.0 at Justin King. Would you do life for another man? Nope, because everyone a rat. Even the biggest gangsters rat bitch only... Even the biggest gangsters rat bitch. Only niggas like you who like the chocolate box getting fucked will do life for another nigga. Okay. Now, on this one, I'm saying... one misconception about jail, apparently there's not as much raping going on as may be said. I don't want to test that. I never want to go to jail. As I said, I'm not about this life. I don't want to go to jail. I remember finding out there might have been even a chance of rape way back in the day, but if there is a rape culture in the United States of America, it still is in jail. The numbers of actual people getting raped are very high in jail. So even if it's just like a bit higher, I don't want to test that. First of all, I just don't want to be in jail to begin with. So there's that one thing. Now, here we go. With the whole like biggest gangsters rat, this happens a lot. And we're going to be talking about crimes in other videos. I've talked about this before. But when they say something like, oh, the number of Donald Trump has come in and his rhetoric has raised the amount of hate crimes and things like that. And it's just reports of crimes. It's not actually convictions of those things. And in a lot of situations, when they look at crime figures in places, let's say somebody has committed a crime and they committed 5 crimes in that time. They maybe broke into a store, so that's breaking and entering. Then they stole something, that's a level 1 felony or something. It's not a level 1 felony. It's now another charge for actual theft. And then you brandish a gun at somebody and you point the gun at the person. That's now like a crime of threatening the person with the gun. Then you get out in your car and then you start driving, you're speeding. That's another crime of speeding. So that's your 4th crime right there. And then maybe you shoot at the cops. I guess if you shoot at the cops, you're probably going to be killed. But let's say you shoot at the cops before you get stopped, and then you finally get stopped and you get arrested. Now, when you get taken to court, let's say somebody ran away or something. Yeah, now there's 3 of you in that car. Now, you get to court. Every single one of you could get charged for every single one of those things. What they normally do, at least this is what I've heard, it's a situation where they'll be like, look, we can give you a plea deal. You plead down to like one of those crimes, and then maybe you tell on the other people. Or in every situation, even if it's just one person, what normally happens in this situation, there may have been 5 crimes committed in that whole incident, but they normally get you to plead down to like one of the crimes. You can plead down to the lesser crime, not the shooting at the police. You shoot at the police, they probably want to get you on that. But let's say you just shot at the general area in the store as you were running out and you didn't actually hit anyone. They would say reckless endangerment or something like that as a thing. So that will be your only charge. They don't normally get you on all 5 of the things. So a lot of the situations where there's certain charges, where there's certain crime figures, you got to wonder what is the difference. You got to check with those stats. Are you talking about arrests? Now you understand if there's an actually arrest and someone's actually charged with a crime, it does not necessarily mean that was the only crime they committed at that time. There could have been more crimes committed. So you look at this when you look at anyone in any situation, even when it comes to white collar crime, somebody could have done like identity theft and then they have all these other cases. Identity theft, hacking into somebody, transferring money illegally from this and this, then insider trading or whatever, and then they'll get you on just like one of those things that's going to get sufficient amount of time. And also people snitch. People do snitch a lot. Like they said 95% of actual charges don't actually see court because people settle and snitch beforehand. That's it for the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Links below to the merchandise store. You help me out in PayPal. Till next video, goodbye.